Good morning, friends. Welcome back to She's At It Again. My name is Tanya. I'm about to make a breakfast for my husband. He rarely ever eats breakfast, but I bought him these little things here recently. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. But he's on his way back from the gym, and I'm going to have this ready for him when he comes back. But he says he's not going to walk in the house until I finish with the video, so we'll see. That normally doesn't work like that. So anyway, let's get started on this. I have in this bowl, I have 4 ounces of cream cheese and 2 ounces of unsalted butter that I have coming to room temperature. I've had it covered and it's softening. So I need to get a mixer out because we're going to start out with making some homemade Boursin cheese. Now I've done a video for this before. I made a full batch of it. We're going to make a half batch this morning because this is just simply going to be a spread to put on something else. So to this, we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of parsley flakes, dried parsley flakes. A 1/4 teaspoon of dried chives. This Boursin is the best stuff ever, I'm telling you. If you buy it already prepackaged, that's fine and dandy, but I've had people that normally buy the packaged kind try this that I made here recently and did the recipe and did a video for it, and they said this was just off the charts. It just tastes so fresh, and there's just a little bit of a kick to it. It's just really good stuff. 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Full recipe calls for 1/3 teaspoon of salt. So with pink salt, I'm going to use about 1/6 teaspoon of pink salt. So if you can guess on what 1/6 teaspoon looks like, you're probably doing better than I am, but it's not going to be a deal breaker when it's salt. The same amount, 1/6 teaspoon of white pepper. And this is the part that's kind of funny. On a full recipe of Boursin cheese, you use 1/8 teaspoon of white vinegar. Pouring 1/8 teaspoon is kind of silly, so I have this little baby syringe for medicine, and 1/8 teaspoon is 0.625 milliliters. You can see the little mark on that right there. So I have half that amount in this syringe, and it's going in there. I looked like a medical professional a while ago, flicking that little air bubble out so I would get the right amount in there. All right, we're going to take our mixer and just mix this up until it's incorporated and smooth. All right, I'll get the rest of that off there later, but for right now, this is what our Boursin looks like. It smells absolutely delightful, and we're going to set this aside. We're going to go over here to the stovetop and make something else. Okay, we're over here at the stovetop. I had to wait till the clock finished dinging before I could start talking. Okay, I just have a little tiny piece of butter. That's probably maybe a little over a teaspoonful. So we're going to put that in our skillet, and I have our burner turned on pretty low. You don't want to just have this sizzling hot when you put it in there. We're going to cook an egg in this. So I'm going to break my egg into this cup before I put anything else in there, because if a piece of the shell goes in there, I want to be able to see it and get it out because it's a clear bottom cup. Now, this is my cool little gadget I just bought. I don't know how many of y'all have these, but when you push it down, it spins. Well, it'll do easier on a flat surface, not necessarily. There you go. See, you push it down, it spins. Okay, I used this the other day. It's too fun, so we're going to use this for this. I have Frank's hot sauce in here. We buy it by the gallon, so I have my own bottle. I'm just going to put a few little drops in there, maybe half a teaspoon. Okay, that's too fun. Look at that. I can't remember what I made the other day, but man, it mixed it up so well. I was like, what am I using a regular whisk for? This is crazy. I can't even remember what this thing's called. But I bought 3 of them as Christmas gifts already. So. All right, we got it all mixed up there. And we want to make sure, now if you have a stainless steel skillet especially, make sure the butter goes all the way around it, up on the sides, because we don't want this sticking. We're going to fry an egg, an egg in here, a beaten egg already. So we're not going to touch it once it gets to the skillet as far as scrambling it. We're just going to let it fry into a flat surface because this is going to be our egg wrap. I want a good coating of butter all the way around. I think ideally I might use a smaller egg than this, but these were just large eggs I got at Natural Grocers. All right, we're going to pour our egg in here. And kind of cook it slowly because I don't want it to be done on the bottom and raw on the top. I tell you what, I'm going to put a lid on this. I think I have a lid that fits this perfectly, and that way it's going to contain the heat. This is how I normally cook fried eggs anyway. I get my skillet pretty hot. I've got my uncured bacon grease in there, and once I break the egg in there on top of the hot grease, it's of course cooking on the bottom, but a lot of people are splashing grease on the top. They're trying to flip it over, which I don't care how good of a chef you are or just a home cook like me, when you turn that egg over, it's probably going to break. And I don't want mine breaking. I want it pretty and just barely pink on the top. I just want that very top of it cooked because I want the inside runny. I really like the runny inside. But if you put the lid on it, it captures that heat in there, and the heat cooks it from the top as well as the skillet heat, residual heat cooking from the bottom. So it's perfect just almost every time, unless I walk away and forget that I put an egg in the skillet. All right, we're going to let this kind of set up and cook, and then we're going to turn it into a wrap. And I'm going to be one of those people that just keeps checking it because I do not want it overcooking. In here I have uncured salami. Ideally, you use uncured pepperoni, but salami and pepperoni are so much alike, it's really not going to make a big taste difference. I found this at Sam's Club. It's not necessarily easy to find uncured salami. You just have to look for it. It's not one of those, most of it's uncured and you might find a couple that are cured. No, most of it is cured. If it does not say uncured, it's cured. If it has nitrates or nitrites in it, that means it's cured. So this is uncured. I got it in a big giant package at Sam's. I keep it in the freezer and only take out a few pieces at a time as I need them. So I'll probably use 2 pieces on this particular wrap. I plan on making another one for him later on just to keep in the fridge. So here's the story behind the wrap. So I went to my local Kroger that I go to about every 2 or 3 weeks to pick up things that only Kroger has. So in the markdown rack, I get so excited because it's like a treasure hunt there. And they had these little prepackaged, it said egg wraps with, what did it say, garlic and herb something, and uncured pepperoni. Well, the uncured caught my attention. I thought, okay, they're actually conscious of the dangers of curing things. So I read more, and it just pretty much had basically Boursin cheese and uncured pepperoni on this cooked egg, which it might have had something in it, I don't really know. But I thought, I'll get a couple of these. They were marked down to $1.49. I got home and checked online, and the regular price was $4.49 for each one of these. And I thought, man, I honestly almost hope he doesn't like them because I'm not going to buy them for $4.50 a piece. He could eat probably a couple of them every day. He said they were so good, but I said, do you really like them that much? And he goes, yeah, they were really good. And I said, I'll try to make one of those myself because, number one, I'm not going to keep stocking these things in the refrigerator. We're just not big on convenience food. I go to the store to buy ingredients, not pre-made food. So all this time I keep thinking, I need to try these. So that's why I've got the recorder on, and I'm showing you how to do this. In case it flubs up, I'll know I can't do it again. But I'm hoping these work because I'd rather make a homemade one than spend $4.50 on these, because he really, really likes these. All right, let's check these and see if they're done around the edge. It's just done around the edge, but not quite enough in the center. And my skillet keeps moving. Stop it. And I don't want it tearing like I just did. Bad egg, get down there. All right, we'll let that cook just a tiny bit longer. I'm just sliding my rubber scraper underneath this to try to detach it from the skillet. I don't want it burning, but I also don't want it raw. And I may wind up tearing it, who knows? Yep, it tore. All right, I'm gonna see if I can flip this out on the plate. Okay, I did. All right, now what I'm gonna do with this, even though it's got some residual egg on it, this is just because it's stainless steel. If it were a non-stick ceramic, preferably skillet, it might not do this, but I thought I had it heated up enough. Maybe I just didn't have the skillet heat up enough. But it's not ruined. I'm certainly not gonna discard it. All right, I'll just put that there so he can still get the benefit of the rest of that egg. I'm gonna put a couple of slices of this salami in there. This is pretty salami. And just get that heated up before I put it on there. So I'm gonna take this egg that we have cooked, this flat egg as we'll call it, I'm going to put some of our boursin on it. I don't know if you can see this well enough, and I don't want to tear the egg, but it'll probably melt into there good enough. If I just had an extra hand to hold the plate, and I could show you what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to put it on there over here. Just going to scrape off a tiny bit and put it on there. He said there really wasn't a lot of stuff inside it. He said it just had such a good flavor to it. And I probably got enough boursin to make probably 10 of these things. We're supposed to be traveling out of state in a few days, so I could always make some of these and wrap them in parchment and take with us. He would be one happy guy if he had some of these to snack on. Okay, just want to heat those up just a little bit. And I'll turn the burner off. Put those on there like that. And see if I can wrap this up. Kind of, sort of. Let me put this camera over here. All right, maybe you can see a little bit better. I'm going to take my spatula and try to roll it up. Okay, close enough. He'll be able to eat this with a fork. Maybe if I practice this enough, I can get these down and they'll look better. So we'll try. Maybe a bigger skillet. I don't know. That might help. Okay, so you get the gist of what I'm trying to do. This is our wrap, and inside it has boursin and uncured salami or pepperoni, either one of those. So I think he's going to be excited when he comes home. I'm going to give him a call and tell him he can come on inside too. He's probably waiting at the post office, doing something to take up time so he can give me enough time to finish up. Okay, I will put the recipe for the half recipe of Boursin cheese plus just kind of the instructions on how to put this together. But anyway, hope you give this a try and that you enjoy it. You probably have little ones at home maybe, or know of somebody that would enjoy this, or maybe yourself. So anyway, thanks for joining us, and we look forward to sharing something again with you real soon. Bye guys.